The All Things Nerd Podcast, Season 3, Episode 25. On tonight's show, we're going to talk about the first Wheel of Time casting that has been released and what we think about the person casted and who they're playing. We're also going to be talking about Keanu being the year of Keanu, and that Marvel really wants Keanu in a film, and I'm just going to see what does everybody want Keanu to play in a Marvel film. And lastly, J.J. Abrams does everything. Period. That's what it comes down to. So if you're listening to this on Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere, Apple Podcasts, make sure to drop a review, make sure to drop a like, and thank you for listening, and here's the intro. Hello all the Geek Enthusiasts and Nerd Aficionados, Mess 5150 here with another All Things Nerd podcast. This is Season 3, Episode 25. We're back, we're here, and we have 4 people that are ready to talk all things nerd with you. This is the podcast about nerd stuff, geek stuff, pop culture, you name it, we talk about all of it. So thank you for joining us on this. It is brought to you by malice-corp.com. That is the website that houses all of our podcasts. So you can check out Malice, M-A-L-I-C-E -corp, C-O-R-P.com, and see what type of podcasts we have over there. There's all different types of stuff, not just the All Things Nerd podcast, but comic book stuff and wrestling stuff and TV show stuff. Go check it out.
Yeah.
You'll
and if there's other stuff that you want to hear us talk about that we haven't talked about, join our community and you can suggest it. Yeah. Odds are somebody that knows how to talk about that stuff.
Exactly. Communities at facebook.com/groups/all things nerd podcast. And it's open to everybody, and you can post whatever you want there so that we can keep interacting with each other. Granted, if it's not proper, we will delete it. So, but you have me, your host on this cast, Mest5150. Also joining me on the cast, I have 3 stooges along with us. So, first and foremost, I think giving the fact that he has the cap on his head, the beanie, it gives him the most closest look to a Mo haircut. So,
I'll take it. Mo's the leader.
Our Mo for this episode is Icy Zorro. How are you, sir?
Great. I'm looking forward to poking other people in the eyes with 2 fingers. Like Mo.
Exactly. So I guess being that he has more hair on his head, I will give him the Larry of the Stooges that we have joined, and that is Nick. Joins us back on the cast after a while. It's been a bit of time. So how are you, Nick?
It's going. It's been a while. Had a busy couple months, but glad to be back. Glad to be talking some nerd stuff with you guys.
We are glad to have you, and this is a rotating cast of people, so it's not always going to be the exact same people. So if you want to see everybody and hear everybody, keep coming back and listening to the cast. Lastly, he's the one that everybody likes the most of the Stooges because he makes the most wild noises and smacks his head the most. That's our Curly. It's Masonic Vader. Is he frozen? Because he has not moved.
He's either frozen or just very disappointed in his selection as a
I
student.
honestly think he's frozen. If not, he is like the best mannequin actor I've ever seen.
Right? Yep, definitely frozen.
Oh, good lord. And he hasn't said anything either.
No, I think he just blinked. Never mind.
Did he?
He's just all right, so...
Is he there?
We lost one.
R.I.P. Curly.
Did he disappear? Router froze. Pulled the Curly. Be right back. Phrasing. What type of Curly are we pulling that makes...
Fries from Jack in the Box stuff.
Hopefully. Any other type of Curlies makes you scream in horror. So, yeah.
Depends on how. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, we'll get back to him when he gets on here. We open this show talking about what everybody's been geeking out on. That means the stuff that people have been doing to tickle their nerdy fancy, to help them geek out, to dive into pop culture. What have you been doing? Let us know, and we're going to let you know what you should be checking out, what hidden treasures we found.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
First and foremost, Icy Zorro, what have you been geeking out on?
For the last week and a half or so, I've been finally binging the show that everybody had told me was so great for so long, And I thought, ugh, I'll get to it at some point. And then it finished, and I was like, I suppose I should do that now. Gotham is fantastic. I'm midway through season 3 right now, and I have really enjoyed the ways that they've taken different things. Barbara Keene as a villain is killing it.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Which I'm upset with myself in a small aspect, because last week when we had the E3 show and we talked about how the actor that
I was thinking that
the actor that plays the Joker,
Jerome and Jeremiah,
he's the main character for the Jedi Fallen Order cartoon.
Yeah.
But I also brought up the factor that the robot that
BD1
he has is BD1, which I thought was a really good joke to somebody being a fan of BD Wong. And then we completely forgot to mention
who played Hugo Strange.
Who plays Hugo Strange? Yes. So I was just like,
I had, to be fair, I had not gotten to that point in the series yet. Otherwise, I would have picked up on it.
Okay. What about you, Nick? What have you been geeking out on since we last saw you?
I've been geeking out on Red Dead Redemption 2. Amazing game. Love it. Have you all played it?
I have not. Tell us about it.
I highly recommend it.
Why should people play it?
Highly recommend it. Do what?
Why should
well, before we do why should people play it, we were talking in the pre-show. Nick was asking us if he has an accent, and then here he just said Red Dead Redemption 2. Y'all playing it? Yeah.
Did you play Red Dead Redemption 1, Nick?
Yes.
Okay. What's the improvements on RDR2 versus RDR1?
Story's better. Of course, I mean, just the gameplay, the flow is a lot better. Graphics, of course, are amazing. It's really something like I can't believe y'all haven't played it yet. It's a really good game.
I'm sorry. This feels like I want to play it. I just don't buy games when they first come out, because by the time I get to them, they've already reduced in price so much. But if you watched the E3 episode last week, this feels like a PC Gamer interview where the person's like trying to ask stuff, and the response is, well, the game's good, graphics are great, story good. Which I understand, but I just went. I had.
And we're going to put it on this brand new revolutionary chipset.
I had flashbacks to the PC Gaming Show, and now I'm like I'm going through. Oh! We have another person on us, but yeah, no. So
I'm not getting poked in the eye. Apparently, I'm poked in the eye.
So
whoop, whoop.
Is it just
the story's great? I love the being able to customize your apparel and everything like that, the cowboy hats, you name it, customizing everything, your guns, engraving your guns is pretty awesome.
Oh, that's cool. That's kind of cool. I get that. See, I loved in the first one playing liar dice. Like I would just play that like crazy. So, no, I gotta check it out.
After Assassin's Creed 3, there's the game with the different lines on the board and stones that you have to move around. I liked playing that game in Assassin's Creed 3 so much that I bought it, and my old neighbors and I used to play it for hours on end.
Nice.
Yeah, Polyfuse says he only plays games after the hype and when they're dead, which is me. Yeah, that's exactly what I do. I do it after the hype and when they're dead. Unless it depends on the game. Like anything that Naughty Dog puts out, I'll usually buy as soon as it comes out, just because I'll burn through that story quickly. I might end up getting the Kojima game, the Death Stranding, just because I'm so interested in it. But joining us on the cast, our third member of the Stooges, Mr. Masonic Vader. How are you, sir?
Sweetly. How you doing? I am doing well. I am back on. My router decided to give me the big old stinker, and I'm excited, ready to go. Let's do this.
So, Masonic Vader, what have you been geeking out on?
Oh, the Geek On. All right, cool. I have gotten into Fallout 76, as I talked about before, but they have broken out a battle royale kind of thing. Very similar to a Fortnite theme. I remember playing Fortnite a couple times and kind of fell apart on it, but this one is a little bit better. You can go in as a team. You can go in as solo. You start off with nothing. You find your stuff. You try to survive to be number one. I've been having some fun with that. I'm psyched because I got my cool old school shirt, Flash. And if you're in San Diego, North San Diego this weekend, you can come see me at the Highland Games because I'm going to be cooking some turkey legs and some ribs.
Flash! Ah! Sorry.
Defender of the grill. Dun, 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 dun.
He saved every one of us.
You know what?
Oh,
I will say
Queen.
this. I did see a documentary though that was actually part of my geek, which was actually what happened to the actor after Flash and all the things that came with it, and how much he really screwed his opportunity up because they were slated.
I think
to
that
do another-
documentary was called Ted.
No. This was a real life documentary that was just kind of like showing one of his parties. No, where he had the opportunity to do 2 or 3 movies, from what I was understanding, and he ended up taking some advice from his attorney at the time, and it kind of screwed everything up. So
I'm not paying
Check
attention
that
to
out.
anything you're saying right now because all that's running through my head is Queen singing the Flash song. I can't think of anything.
God,
Flash!
Queen was so good at soundtracks in the 80s.
That's all that's
Absolutely.
going through my head.
Which
And
leads
I
me, of
just-
course, to Who Wants to Live Forever? Different
God,
movie.
the Highlander soundtrack was
yeah, just go ahead,
Highland
and
Games.
cut out all my stuff and just show Flash. There you go.
I'm just gonna show excerpts of Freddie Mercury singing the Flash Gordon song. whenever it's time for Masonic Debater talk, he'll just get ready. He'll be like, and then it'll cut to Freddie Mercury just being like, Flash.
Or just that one picture of the character Flash riding the air scooter or whatever.
He'll save every one of us.
Oh, he's got the high pitch there. Wow.
Okay, on to my geek out.
This is the whole show now.
Yeah, exactly.
Jack Malice is out of town. We're doing a karaoke episode. Let's do it.
No, what happened based
Yes.
off of last night's wrestling cast and last night's Fear the Walking Dead cast, what I've come to terms with in terms of the amount of fun that was had last night and what people liked when they listened to it, it's all open. It's an open book for how we chit chat and talk, just have fun because people enjoyed it. And rather than try and stay 100% professional as a cast, if it doesn't work, then we'll cut it out. But if it works, then great, it'll stay in there for everybody else to listen. So you're gonna get some weird wackiness going on in these shows from here on out.
We're supposed to be semi-comedy, right?
Funny comedy, yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess.
not about the
we're
comedy, it's
completely
comedic.
unrehearsed. If you can't tell, this is not like we don't got scripts or anything. So
This is actually, I have a script up in my window right now. Mest, I just wrote that line for you, actually. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait.
Wait.
My
When did you
teleprompter.
start
My
reading?
teleprompter's not moving very quickly. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, yeah.
There we are.
I see. When did you start reading, dude? That's what I want to know.
No, you're the green lines on the Google Doc, dude. That was Nick's line.
Let's get into it. So my geek out, I have threefold. One, because you guys love hearing about when I binge through things like crazy.
Yeah, we do. We totally love hearing about it. Yeah,
Arrowverse.
let's
Well,
hear
because
it.
you're surprised at how fast I go through some of these shows. I got that Beacon level going. Arrowverse. I literally I started 2 weeks ago, and today I finished season 3 of Arrow and season 1 of Flash.
Slade Wilson?
No, season 4 then. It's the Roz, the Raish, the Raish,
Ra's al Ghul.
the Ra's al Ghul season
Was
with the first
Deathstroke
season.
season 2 then?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay. So season 3 of Arrow, season 1 of Flash have both been finished today, along with season 1 of Vixen, which was a cartoon that was created on CW Seed for the Arrow universe, and another mini Arrow commercial basically for like IBM. I can't remember what it was. I have this list of what things to watch in what order. So
Been a little quiet at the storefront, huh?
no, that was all been mainly at home because at the storefront it has been Retro Replay starring Nolan North and Troy Baker. I cannot stop watching this channel. I learned about it because I saw that they're going to be doing a live show down in my area, so I'm really pondering getting tickets. It's next Friday, and it's $35 a ticket. So, and
If you want to feel better about watching our show, watch their intro episode.
watch their first live episode, and
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It looks just like what our first live, because it's literally them sitting going, "Are we live? Did we turn on yet? Hey, is
I
this
haven't
weird?"
seen any notifications. Did you see a notification?
It's awesome.
Can anyone see my nose hairs?
Yeah, it sounds like they're using the laptop mics.
We know Turbo Comics hates the Arrowverse because he says it's what they show to inmates at Guantanamo. So I'm still gonna binge it because once again, like everything that happens with this podcast, it is very CW centric in terms of the fans, and I talk about shows, but I've never watched them. I sound like I know what I'm talking about based off of all the geeks and nerds I have here, but at least I'd like to know what I'm talking about. So
You're like me when it comes to the vast majority of comic books.
I'm like, it's just because I'm really good at faking it, is what it comes down to.
That's
A
what she said.
professional salesperson. That's what it is.
Exactly. So that's what we've been geeking out on. If what was I said 3 things. Oh yeah. I went down to Downtown Disney yesterday because they released the DJ R3X Funko Pop. So that is Rex, the robot from the original Star Tours. And they released a Funko Pop of him, so I went down there to pick him up, and while I was down there, I saw this hat. It's probably getting a lot of backwash on the lighting, so that's probably why it's not, but they have a ton of Star Wars Galaxy Edge hats down there. This one does, like you said, the low-res Millennium Falcon has a Millennium Falcon stitched into the side of it, so I thought it was really cool. So that's my that was my geek out for yesterday. If you guys want to see the actual reveal, the hunt for that pop, check out Geek Guidepost on YouTube, and a video will be popping up over there. Okay, let's get into what we're really here for. The nerd news. Okay, so our first nerd news topic, we've been talking about it a bit. Nothing has been released on it, and they finally released their first thing. Wheel of Time, the Amazon Prime television show for the book series. It's going through its functions. It's the writing out the stories, but there hasn't been any casting. They revealed their first casting. Rosamund Pike is going to be cast as the lead. They said they were going to make her the lead, which I wouldn't assume her as the lead, but
they're making Maureen the lead, which doesn't make any sense if you've read the books, but
exactly where I wanted to go. Yeah, so Maureen is being made the lead of the book series, not the book series, but the television series. Rosamund Pike, great actress.
I'm gonna have a hard time not seeing her as Gone Girl.
Yep, same here.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure she's talented enough, and I'm sure they're going to do makeup and costuming and set design enough that you won't just see her as that character. But for now, I'm like, oh boy,
A little bit of a typecast.
Powerful, controlling, manipulative women.
I mean, so do you like the casting at least? That's what I want to do.
I'm optimistic. She's talented enough. Maybe if I'd seen her in other stuff, I wouldn't have like that one picture of her in my head. But I've always pictured Maureen as like, sort of an auburn-haired. She's supposed to be extremely short, like 4'10". I don't know. I'm not sure that she fits what most book readers are going to have in their mind. But like I said, optimistic. She's a great actress.
See, I don't go off of the whole like how they're supposed to look anymore because you got so much camera magic in terms of how tall people look and stuff that. You just never. I'm sorry, switching over. You just. They can make him to the height that they need him to be at, or whatnot. But, I mean, how do you? Okay, I want predictions on how do they spin this where they make Moraine the lead character. I mean,
same way that Game of Thrones season 1 said that Sean Bean was going to be the main character. You just do it until she's gone.
Okay. So do you think it'll be a quick gone? Like holy crap!
I remember correctly.
Gone Girl.
Read them, right? Nick,
No.
The books, right?
No, I have not.
Okay. If I remember correctly, in the books, it's around book 3 where she disappears, like the end of book 3. So if they're doing, even if they're 14 books down into, 8 or 9, maybe 10 seasons, it's still going to be, she'll be the star for 2 years, maybe.
Unless they really cram it down. I mean, that could be. That we don't know how much they're going to compact these books.
An episode.
No, not that. Not going to cram it down that much.
Yeah. If each episode is 14 hours long, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm trying to look at. I mean, yeah, she's mainly known as Gone Girl, but I'm trying to for other people so they can see what other stuff that she's been in. She's been in a ton of stuff. She's a big name for him.
She's been in Die Another Day, World's End, Wrath of the Titans, A Private War. She's also soon to star in I Care a Lot and The Banker's Wife.
She was in the first Jack Reacher as well. So,
speaking of miscast,
yeah. But no, she's been acting for since 1998, and the early 2000s is when she really started taking off with her acting. And then Gone Girl was with them. So that's our first casting that we've got.
My main hope is that because that's the first casting we have. We know who's going to be directing the first couple episodes. German lady that's done a ton of amazing TV. We know who's going to be the showrunner and executive producer and all that. What I'm hoping is that when they do the rest of the casting, that they stick with unknowns. Rosamund Pike is enough of a name that I think she did she win an Oscar for Gone Girl?
She goes nominated, I know for sure.
Nominated, yeah.
Yeah, so nominated.
I mean, that right there should be enough a star attraction to pull some people in, just with the fact that there should be large buzz around this show. So I'm hoping the rest of the people are just no names or people that have just been in minor roles and stuff, so that I don't want to look at Perrin Aybara and think, oh, that's whoever, some guy that I've seen in 13 other things.
And I also want to welcome in from the Smack Talk cast showroom to watch the cast. Peteopolis joins us in the chat room as well. Let's get on to our because that was just the warm up nerd news story to talk about. Let's get on to one that I think people are going to have a lot of fun with, because we've already got Polyfuse talking about it in the chat room. It came out. Okay, so we've already discussed this is the year of Keanu Reeves. You've got
Keanu.
John Wick 3. John Wick 4 has already been announced that it's happening. He's on Toy Story 4 doing a voice, which Bearded Master can tell us how great that was, because he went and saw it last night. That's why Gordito Crunchwrap was on the show last night in his stead.
I wouldn't be surprised if the re-release of Avengers Endgame freaking has Keanu Reeves.
Is that what the secret scene? The secret scene.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, he's playing Tony Stark's daughter.
You're breathtaking.
Pride Month.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, you're breathtaking. I love you 3000, Dad.
Whoa.
Dude.
Whoa.
All right.
Dad,
yeah, we were just talking about that he's on Always Be My Maybe on Netflix. I mean, the guy, he's blowing up again. It's awesome. And what came out?
Ooh, don't forget Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh yes, we can't forget that. That's where the You're Breathtaking came from, is the fact that he was on Cyberpunk. And Bearded Master says he was fantastic and Keanu is brilliant for Bearded Master. River's Edge too? Really? They better not. That has to be a joke. I don't want the River's Edge. Okay.
One of my favorite things is because he's having such a good year, and because that Cyberpunk 2077 trailer was so amazing, the main picture that everybody is using to show him now is a part of this. It's a screen cap from that. Crap, where did it go? I just had it. Oh,
well, I saw
sunglasses, the honor, yeah.
Because of that You're Breathtaking or You're Amazing. I saw a meme that is Bob Ross looking back at the camera with a painting of Keanu Reeves, and it says three breathtaking people looking at each other. So you're the third person looking at you. So, it was awesome.
Oh, you're all breathtaking.
No,
I looked up like 3 different things on him, and every one of them had this as the main picture of him. That's not even him. That's his character from Cyberpunk.
Yes. We've got a city to burn.
I ain't gonna lie, my favorite thing I've seen so far in a while was a little meme where it has Thanos doing the snap, and then the next picture is John Wick holding his puppy, and the puppy starts fading away, and it goes back to Thanos, and he goes, "Oh
but the reason we're talking about Keanu is that Kevin Feige came out and said that they said about getting Keanu into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Kevin Feige actually let it be known they have reached out to Keanu for every single Marvel film to try and get him into it some way, somehow. And they don't know if he's going to come be part of it, but they're going to continue trying to get him to come be something, play something. And that's where I wanted to know, like, what do you guys want to see him playing in the Marvel Universe if they get him in there.
I want to see him play Constantine again. I know that's not Marvel.
That's not Marvel.
DC.
But
we're talking about DC later, not Marvel. It's Marvel right now.
I want to see Constantine again.
Okay, come on,
saying.
dude.
I like the guy they got cast for. I know it's CW again, but I like the guy they got cast for Constantine right now. I don't really want to see anybody else doing Constantine except him. I like Matt Ryan as Constantine, but
he's better at that than he is at playing football.
I mean, what? Yeah, different Matt Ryan. But Polyfuse says Gambit.
I would be down with that because it's a hell of a lot better than who they decided to pick on the first one.
Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
It was the other kid. It was the guy that was in John from Mars or whatever.
No, he did the first one, but then Channing
Taylor
Tatum.
Something.
Yeah, then Channing Tatum was scheduled to be Gambit for the standalone movie, which made me want to cry because his acting skills are about as good as this empty bottle.
Channing's.
Are
you just thinking about his dancing films? Because I mean,
he's the same pretty much in every single film. He doesn't have any kind of
just the scene in 21 Jump Street where he was high on drugs and doing all the equations on the board, and then he turns around and it's just all fours. I'm like, okay, that took skill.
Yeah, no. He ruined Duke for me in G.I. Joe.
Well, that entire movie was ruined by just the writers in general.
Well, his acting skills are not like.
He doesn't have very much range.
Yeah.
But he's so pretty.
I mean, one of the people we talk about all the time that has an Oscar that doesn't have the greatest range is Nick Cage. So.
Well, we
Take
got
that back. The great Nick Cage.
Oh my God.
To be fair, he was just playing himself, a depressive drunk that would do anything for money.
And there's your Nick Cage drop for the show.
Yeah, add that on.
Okay, so so
can we make Silver Surfer talk? Because then that would be my vote.
Well, that's
He did.
Keanu is Gambit. I mean, could he pull off the Cajun accent?
No.
Nope.
I mean, I don't think you need to worry about the Cajun accent at that point. You can pull everything else off.
I got it. I want him to do Silver Surfer as Johnny Utah.
Yes.
That would be fantastic.
Turbo Comics says, "Don't you dare compare Nick Cage to Channing mouth breather Tatum."
Yeah, I'm way more entertained by most Channing Tatum movies. Just on a hit or miss ratio.
Okay. Yeah, G.I. Joe ruined Duke. We're all agreeing on this one. But yeah, I like what Turbo Comics says in the chat room. He says Keanu's going to be Moon Knight. That would be awesome. I would love that factor of it. So, okay. I'm gonna go through the Fox properties because this is what everybody's been waiting for to have come. So, Fantastic Four, outside of Silver Surfer, for what do we think of Keanu as Mr. Fantastic?
No.
No,
I couldn't see it.
It's possible.
He's gaining the gravitas, but he's not quite there.
Keanu as the Thing.
That's a waste. No, he's too good for the Thing.
Okay, Keanu.
Best part about that the Chris Evans and that Fantastic Four.
I could
Michael
see
Chiklis as the Thing. Michael Chiklis was great.
I could see him pulling off the Human Torch, Johnny Storm. I could see him pulling that off. You get your Johnny Utah with the name, but I could actually see him pulling off the Human Torch. Because he's played characters who are, because out of the three, he's the one that's more of the comedy guy, if you want to call it that or whatever. But I mean, granted, he is a little bit older than what you see in the comic books, but I can totally see him pulling that off.
Okay. What about Keanu as the Human Torch?
Too old.
Damn it! Have fun with this, guys.
Yeah, but it doesn't work.
I know.
You know what? I think it makes it hard for the conversation just because of the simple fact that we really don't know what we're going to be able to see out of Marvel. They're being so quiet about things right now, and it's really difficult to find a spot for him. And because we can sit there and start naming off heroes, but at the same time, he could probably be the bad guy. He could easily pull off a bad guy.
I was just thinking, make him the bad guy in Guardians 3.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
But they've already got their idea for. I mean, it depends on if he wants to come along now, or if he wants what he wants to do if he does come into the series.
Make him a bad guy for Young Avengers.
Well, let's go X-Men style size then. Is there anybody? I mean, he's not the good he can't do the Cyclops. People were pushing for like him as a new Wolverine replacement.
No.
No.
Don't see that.
Cyclops is actually a better fit than Wolverine.
Bearded Master says make Keanu Doctor Doom.
I was thinking that, but he just doesn't have the right. I don't know. Maybe that could work.
Ooh,
Professor X.
Pete says Keanu would be a great as Bullseye.
I was thinking that too. I think Bullseye would be a good fit for him. And they could even go as far as use him in Dark Avengers, because I know they're talking about doing that as well. That he could do the Bullseye / crossover and be one of the Dark Avengers as well, the Hawkeye version of it.
And then Turbo Comics says as Adam. I'm assuming Adam Warlock, not Warlock for New Mutants. I mean, it could go either way. So
well, yeah, because Adam Warlock was they were hinting at that happening in the last movie, or at least the last two, because I was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and we didn't get him. So we've been waiting for him to happen. I could see that as a possibility as well. Absolutely, that would be the type of name you would put with a character like that. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and considering that the suggestion came from a guy that runs a comic book shop, I'm gonna agree with that.
Yeah, I love his suggestion for Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight would be fantastic if they actually ever did Moon Knight, which I don't know if that's on the horizon to get.
I mean, if you really think about this in so many different levels, like breaking it down, with them losing Robert Downey and Chris Evans, right now losing them, but they might have cameos or whatever they're thinking about doing. Keanu Reeves would be a great fit for that Adam Warlock. I think his personality would be great for it.
Would you rather see? And I'm exactly going to bring this up right now, Peteopolis. Keanu could be in Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and that's what I was thinking was, would you rather see Keanu play one of the heroes, or would you rather see him, like, say, be the next big bad, like you as opposed to Thanos? We talked about King the Conqueror.
Krang.
Not King the Conqueror as being a great.
Would he be the voice of Krang, or would be the giant body that the brain gets carried around in?
I love what they're saying in the chat room right now with the Hellfire Club is what Peteopolis meant. I knew what you meant with not Brotherhood of Evil Mutants would have been Magneto. So I knew what you meant, Hellfire Club, because Turbo Comics brings up he could be Sebastian Shaw. I think would be fantastic casting. I know we've already seen Sebastian Shaw in the Fox versions, but those are no more. Those do not happen.
Once again,
they did the MIB little clicker and said this didn't happen. Now it's MCU. So
wait, pulled the JJ and just erased it. Went back in time. No, hey, I like I said again, it is so cool that we can just kind of think about this, because there's so many different scenarios, good, bad, main character, side character, whatever it is. But I mean, the world is his right now. He can pick whatever the hell he wants to, and he's going to get paid for it as well. But more alone, once again, I think it would be a good idea to somehow introduce him into the next Avengers movie, good or bad, whatever it is, to make up for a little bit of what you've lost and to carry it.
Well, because this is the reason we're not making it a main topic on the show, because we don't talk about rumors. We try and stay away from them. And the only reason we're talking about the Keanu thing is that Feige actually came out and said that they've been trying to get him to be in something. But there was a rumor that the next films that are going to be dropping, that we're going to get announced and stuff, because you've got what we already know. There's Black Widow is happening, even though they refuse to admit that the film that they're filming right now is Black Widow. But
we know there's that. We know there's Guardians 3, Spider-Man Far From Home,
Eternals. And I'm talking we're talking Phase 4, because Spider-Man is the last of the Phase 3 films, and then you go Phase 4. You know Eternals is happening. You know Guardians is happening. You know the Kung Fu. I can't remember the name of the character right now.
Yeah.
Shang Li or something like that.
But they've said there's a couple that leaked was like New Avengers and Young Avengers are two that is going to be the next. Now, I don't know what New Avengers is going to entail. I don't think it's going to be on the precipice of what the New Avengers comic books were. I think it's just going to be that, hey, here's the people that are left around now that Captain America's gone and Iron Man's gone. But Young Avengers, that's an interesting setup because that could be your kid that worked on the Iron Man suit and Ant-Man's daughter and stuff like that. So, but that's a rumor. Yeah. But it leaked from a really good source, but we're not sure that it's legit or not. So that's why
I worry that Keanu is riding that crazy wave of popularity right now, where he'll be blown out. You know, people love him. He's such a great guy. I saw an Onion headline the other day that was like, several women come forward with reports of Keanu Reeves being extremely appropriate. It's like, oh, everybody loves him right now. This would be the optimal time for him to go full bad guy. Get some range in there.
Oh yeah, no, I'd love.
Here's a twist because now we've got Spider-Man Far From Home coming out. He could probably go in this he could probably go in the Spideyverse and Doc Ock. Why not?
Can't beat Alfred Molina at that one. You just can't.
It doesn't matter about beating Alfred Molina. The way they're talking about trying to maybe even do a multiverse, something that's thrown out there.
I still think they're screwing with you. They're screwing with you on that.
Well, you know, regardless, the end game just proved that there's a multiverse out there. That you know, so bring him in as a Doc Ock. A new style of it, you know. I mean, the comic books have changed it and switched around so much. That would be just out of the box kind of thing, you know.
Actually, we didn't talk about this. Peteopolis says put Keanu in the X-Men reboot. Why don't we just shave Keanu's head and make him the new Xavier?
Oh, don't touch that beautiful hair.
I'd actually be interested. Honestly.
I would.
I would too, but I'd have a hard time not checking the back of his neck for plugs if he's the shaved head.
Just and make sure it's not in the wheelchair. He's got to be in the actual like floating chair from the 90s comics and the cartoons. So Peteopolis says screw with Marvel fans and put Keanu in the cameo roles like Stan Lee. Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Yes. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, so
he just totally wanders by like, you guys are breathtaking.
If they're gonna do that, I want them to just put him like in all the like romantic portions of the show, like Lake House and stuff. Like whenever he does those films, it's just oh, okay, sorry. Polyfuse says I don't think he has a villain in him to play one, but that's it. Let's move on to the last because we don't have a ton of time.
It's called acting.
Yeah. So yeah, let us know in the comments below what you think Keanu should be playing in any of the Marvel films. Whatever you want to see him play. Let us know how he can pull it off.
Oh,
Keanu's Ghost Rider? It's got to be better than Nick Cage.
I could see it.
Please. Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see Ghost Rider.
No, it would definitely be better. You can't deny that. You would take Keanu as Ghost Rider over Nick Cage. Can't say
Grumpy.
No.
I would.
Grumpy Cat as Ghost Rider would be better than Nick Cage, I think.
Oh, too soon, man. Why you gotta go there? Why? We feel for Grumpy Cat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody that has that love for Grumpy Cat and has just gotten over putting the tissues away because they're finally done crying about the loss of Grumpy Cat, and then Vader
bring the mood down.
God,
Jesus,
God, Vader. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So let's move on to something else.
The look on his face is like, what are you guys doing?
Oh my god. Polyfuse, last thing about Keanu. Keanu shows up and says, Cap's ass is breathtaking.
It's America's ass.
Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about how J.J. Abrams does everything because he rebooted Star Trek, and it had its best numbers ever of a film. And then he came back and he's like, "Why am I gonna do just Star Trek? Hey Disney, let me reboot Star Wars for you." And rebooted Star Wars. It did fantastic, even though people didn't like Force Awakens all that much. But man, after The Last Jedi came out, people love Force Awakens now. So he's coming back to finish off the Skywalker trilogy, and he's not gonna end there. Marvel knows what they're doing, so Marvel doesn't need any help. But Warner Brothers, we've discussed many times that Warner Brothers doesn't always know what they're doing. In fact, they've gone away from the DCEU because they really can't figure it out. And what do? They throw $500 million at Abrams to come over and have all his projects. They get first decline to his standalone projects, but he's going to basically.
And he has so many projects. I had no idea until I started reading some of these articles.
Well, and that's the thing is, they get first decline, but we don't know if he's allowed to do these projects elsewhere or not. If they do decline them, which is funny. It's like, hey, we're gonna give you $500 million to be able to tell you no, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, you're gonna run. You're staying in the stable here, but you only race for us.
Exactly. So, what do we think about Abrams coming over to Warner Brothers and essentially now being the Feige that could potentially, replace Snyder and be the kind of get DC into a certain shape?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Reading those articles, it seemed to indicate that Bad Robot has been working out of Warner Brothers since 2006. So this is essentially a deal to keep him there.
I can look at it again. He may have been working within the, but he wasn't tied to Warner Brothers specifically. Bad Robot was its own thing.
Right.
As long as they give him free reign, then he's fine. I think it's the best thing they could ever do. He has proved a lot of doubters that he can make something happen. Like when they said that he was going to redo Star Trek, I remember everyone going, "Oh, come on, man. You're going to mess this thing up. You can't get past. You can see everything's been crappy." And then he comes out and he busts out this alternative universe of Star Trek, and it was successful. And then he comes around and says, "All right, dude, let's finish off Star Wars." And I could care less what people think. I thought Force Awakens was great. Sure, it was like taking episode 4 and kind of tweaking it a little bit, but ultimately to be able to actually have the Star Wars universe again on the big screen, where it's actually, yeah, it was definitely worth it. And like you said, after Last Jedi, yeah, people are loving it. So to take this guy who's made just guaranteed hits and reboots, it makes sense. He's like the fixer now. So he comes in and he fixes what's wrong with Justice League. Not everything's wrong with it. I'm hoping that they do keep Jason and Gal Gadot. They keep these two because they're proven successes with their characters, and then they just find people to kind of fill in those other spots and reform the group, because it's the only thing I think at this point. Justice League would be one of the only things that can really kind of compete comic book wise, movie screen, with what Marvel's been producing. There's really nothing out there outside. DC's the only chance it has to topple Marvel when it comes to superhero movies. There's
so Turbo Comics said it. Well, if Abrams takes over, it would be DC Lens Flare universe. Good. It's not Snyder universe.
So yeah. Okay, so yeah, Bad Robot was all Warner Media in terms of the television shows. So everything that was Bad Robot television was Warner Media, but I don't believe all the Bad Robot films were.
Yeah, I think the films were with a different company.
Yeah, so it was Bad Robot, but that's what this was they were in the bidding war to make sure Bad Robot was with them, which honestly, that's the big heavy hitter is that production company itself. Yeah, you get Abrams along with it, but he has
and his wife, who's the co-CEO, and she's involved in amazing stuff as well.
Yeah.
I can't think of one Bad Robot production that has been horrible.
Bad, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. So you had the film last year for Netflix that was within the universe that Abrams created, the monster universe.
The Cloververse.
Cloverfield, yeah, the Cloverfield universe. So like that was what it was saying in there was not only was Warner Brothers in on this, you had Netflix. Switch over real quick. Netflix, Apple, Amazon, and the Warner Media, Comcast, and Sony were all among the people that were trying to get a deal done with Bad Robot. So, yeah, $500 million to get first dibs at stuff is.
I bet Seth MacFarlane's feeling kind of crappy about that $100 million deal with Fox now, huh?
So
could have done so much better. But yeah, J.J. Abrams, like Masonic was saying, if you look through the list of properties produced by Bad Robot, there's so much good stuff. Just starting with TV, from Felicity to Alias, Lost. The guys have so much good stuff.
I mean, think about it.
Currently, Westworld.
His deal to keep it at Warner Brothers, $500 million. It's a company that's smaller in terms of scale of Lucas, but for the amount of time it's been around, was garnering about the amount of money that Lucasfilms would have garnered at the same stage. So good on him, but
I hope he's doing some profit sharing with his employees.
Well, I mean,
Pedopolis says Zachary Quinto as Batman. Now they're just recasting everybody from Star Trek into different DC roles because of
there you go.
Better than Robert Pattinson.
Oh,
I'm gonna give him more credit because I've seen other things outside of Twilight that he's been good at, so I'm still giving him a shot. So
yeah, no, that shot went through the Bat Cave already.
You haven't seen him yet. You haven't seen him yet. You got to see him first before we can be angry.
Hey, so
apparently you don't know
he won't sparkle. He won't sparkle on screen. Okay, they won't make him sparkle. If they make him sparkle, we're all walking. We're rioting. If Batman sparkles, we riot.
The Batsuit has sparkly nipples.
So let me ask you this: that's horrible. Out of all the people that have been successful lately in the movie genre, in this comic book, everything like that, my feelings about J.J. Abrams is I think he's probably the first true geek or nerd who's been able to successfully cross over in different genres because he takes everything and he loves everything about this genre. Is that safe to say? I mean, that's what it feels like to me.
He basically says, hey, you know what? I'll do it for less than Spielberg, and I'll do it like Spielberg because I'm a huge fan of him. That's what he does. But he's now gotten to the approach of being up at that same echelon as Spielberg. But yeah, he was a huge movie geek. Star Trek, he knew nothing about. He was not a Star Trek fan. He was a Star Wars geek. And it was his partners that were huge Star Trek geeks that helped him kind of figure out, which is why you got the crazy lens flare that JJ knows how to do, and the type of action that was going on with Star Trek, because he wasn't a Star Trek geek, so he didn't follow the same path in terms of how to make a Star Trek film. So
he's just a geek in general.
He basically made a Star Wars film out of Star Trek, is what he did.
Yeah, he understands what the fans want. And he goes for what the fans want, not what and fans as a whole. Because we do know that when it breaks down to Star Trek and Star Wars fans, those hardcore guys that read canon and everything, those are the ones you cannot, like, it doesn't matter what you produce, it's going to suck in their eyes. Okay? So he caters to everybody else who loves the genre, who loves seeing these movies, who loves to see things that we'll never see in our lifetime, but somewhere down the line they will. And he does it perfect. And kudos to him, man. I mean, he earned it.
I will always enjoy J.J. Abrams no matter what. The man bought me pizza for staying in line for Star Wars Celebration 4 years ago. So no matter what he does, he bought me pizza. I'm a fan. So when somebody buys you pizza, you can't do anything but love them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have Ruru2 joining us.
Tell that to my ex-wife.
We have Ruru2 joining us in the chat room as well. Says he will be fine. The problem with Batman and DC isn't the actors; it's their stupid writing that gave us Martha. So no, of course he'll be fine. I think I just want to know, will he fix? If they let him actually diverse into doing DC films, will he fix the universe even more? Because I'm a little weary with Warner Brothers and DC right now, because they bowed out of Hall H at Comic-Con this year, and that's a panel that I'm looking forward to every year, and it makes me scared that they're worried about some of their stuff if they're not going to actually bring it and show it to the nerds themselves.
I think the reason why they did this is because outside of Wonder Woman that's coming around, there's no hype needed for that one. Everyone's really looking forward to seeing that movie.
Why isn't there? You haven't seen squat about it.
Oh, I mean, we haven't seen previews or anything,
Exactly.
but everyone's
So
looking
why
forward
not
to seeing
hype
it.
it? Because now it's the one thing I saw from preview was showing them in a shopping mall, and it was like, I don't know. I know it's in the 80s, but I don't know. So, I don't know.
To be fair, most of life took place in a shopping mall in the 80s.
I would be nervous if Patty Jenkins' name wasn't on there, but since Patty Jenkins' name is on there and the full cast is coming back, I'm not nervous about what product they're going to give you.
We still haven't seen anything of the
We've
villain.
seen her costume.
Yeah, well, we've seen her in, well, yeah, but no, I mean, of the villain. We've seen her in a library,
Right.
as a librarian photo in one shot, but that's the one that people are most worried about. I just think you bring that to Comic-Con. You have Dune being made right now. You bring something from that to Comic-Con. You have Joker, which people are very anticipated for. You bring it to Comic-Con. Warner Brothers bowing out is like, makes me think that they're like in a fear tactic mode where it's like, we usually come with the big stuff and we start the day off huge on Saturday in Hall H, but Marvel's coming back. There's rumors that Star Wars might be there. Jay and Silent Bob reboot's gonna be there, so they're afraid. Everybody's afraid of Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I mean, there's nothing's gonna be bigger and better than that.
So I wanted to finish my thought though. Kudos to DC. I think the reason why they did is because they understand they have a problem, that there's no need to come in and spend a lot of money to try to. I mean, they have guaranteed hits coming up. I don't care what you guys think. Wonder Woman's going to crush some box offices right off the beginning. Now, it's not going to pull off Marvel numbers or anything like that, but it's going to do what it needs to do. So they're okay with that. I think it's smart that they do it because now they get to go back and try to fix what they've left up. Because trust me, if anyone's more pissed off the scenario, it would be me, because I'd rather be seeing some Justice League movies and seeing Superman and Batman and all the OGs, especially since they found the two hardest characters, I think, to cast out of the Justice League, especially Aquaman. They found someone to fit that role perfectly. You've got two of the ones that weren't brought in until later on, and we're not really made serious until much later on. Batman and Superman should be the gimmies. And they've screwed those up. They've screwed up the whole series. They've screwed up the right. So I'm glad that they've stepped out. I hope they take this time to fix their stuff and come back with what we expect DC to pump out.
Yeah, I get it. The other front of J.J. Abrams doing everything is there was a countdown this week that got fans super excited because it was a Marvel thing. It was a web. It started with 4. And everybody went crazy because they're like, the Sam Raimi 4 film, they're going to do the Sam Raimi 4 film and a comic story. And then they were like,
or a crossover with Fantastic Four.
Or a crossover with Fantastic Four. It's coming. Marvel's gonna drop the big. And each day it counted down. They were like, no, that's not what's happening. You guys will never guess. You'll never guess. And it comes out on Friday or Thursday, yesterday, that it's revealed that the countdown is that J.J. Abrams is doing a comic book miniseries of Spider-Man with his son, Henry Abrams. So,
21.
What do you guys think?
Who starts a countdown at 4?
Yeah. Just very
What
odd
kind
to
of
do that.
garbage was that?
That's dickish, if you ask me.
Let's start it off at 7.
What? Start off at 10. Why 4?
13. 12. What? Oh, sorry.
What was 15? What was 15?
Oh.
No, it sucks because I see this countdown, and of course, we talked about before, and it's just what Tom Holland said about the Spider-Man multiverse. That's what I was thinking at first. That made total sense. And yeah, no, it's a comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Turbo Comics says his reaction is meh. And Ruru 2 says Fallout 76 this countdown.
Well, that countdown had to go like -35 before it started picking up there. So, which it has picked up, River 2. It has. I think it was -26 or something.
I mean, is it a good kind of launching point for Abrams' son? Abrams started out with he worked with somebody, and then he got his television shows. I mean, with Felicity and stuff, and I think
Dragged Greg Grunberg along with him.
yeah, basically, and now everybody loves Greg Grunberg because he's awesome.
Because he's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, to me, I think it's a plus and minus, because it's a plus because he has his dad, but it's also a minus because he has his dad. I'm hoping that the comic book series is great, and I hope it does lead to other things. Where his son will probably get the best kudos is when he's able to continue it on or move on to something and not have his dad's name at the front end of it, just have his name. That's where you'll see if the success is real or not. It's unfortunate. Any person that comes in with a parent or somebody who's been very successful in this industry, you have this instantaneous like freaking weight on your shoulders, no matter what it is, movies, sports, whatever it is. And kudos to him because he gets into it. He's got that in that most people dream of. But when he does his own thing, that'll be the test.
Well, how interesting would it be if Abrams was working over on DC stuff and the other Abrams, Henry, did such a well job with like this miniseries that he started working
becomes
on
a main Marvel writer,
TV show or movies or something with the Marvel side, and you've got just the Abrams powerhouse helping out with both comic universes.
George Lucas, who? That's what it would come to if you were able to do something that puts you in that echelon of Lucas, Spielberg. I mean, that's where he would be at that point. I mean, that would be literally that propulsion to get there.
Yeah, regardless if we like the story or not, we know it's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be drawn by Sarah Pacelli, who was also one of the co-creators of Miles Morales. So yeah, we know the art's gonna be good.
That's why I'm hoping that Holland little thing would actually work out. I don't care what you say. I would love to see a multi-universe movie with freaking Toby and what's his name? I want the other two Spider-Mans in there. I mean, they proved that the movie could happen with the Miles Morales Spider-Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
They could totally pull it off.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I like it.
Couple last notes. Couple last notes. Peteopolis says DC should do an animated movie like Spider-Verse, but in the style of the Batman animated series, and bring all the big name voices for a JLA movie. And Turbo Comics says, I mean, Abrams' kid can't be worse than Brian Michael Bendis, which some people love him, some people hate him. And we're not going to talk about the other stuff that's been said in there. And then Ruru2 says Jim Lee has done it for both studios. Yeah, on the comic book front, I meant on the movie front. If it would be interesting if father and son were on dynamic helping out movies on both sides of the spectrum. I mean, yeah, but I agree. So that's it. That's what I got to talk about. Unless you guys got anything else you want to say on any of this stuff.
Nope. Good to go.
That's all I got to say about that.
I'm still trying to think of a character for Keanu, but damn it.
I'm telling you, Bald Keanu.
It's hard. It's difficult.
Bald Keanu for Professor X, man.
No, I don't want to see Professor X as Keanu. I can't.
I want Keanu as the Blob.
That'd be interesting.
Just Keanu in a fat suit. In a really
what about
big
Colossus?
fat suit.
Keanu was Colossus. There you go.
But they can't make him bigger. He needs to be his same size, just metal skin.
Some kind of prosthetic stick on and
Russian accent Keanu.
Oh, now
see, there you go.
Yeah, and they're still saying Silver Surfer, but Doug Jones was Silver Surfer, and I love Doug Jones.
Yeah, but come on, Johnny Utah as Silver Surfer.
No, Lawrence Fishburne did the voice for that, didn't he?
For Silver Surfer?
Yeah, in the Silver Surfer and just Fantastic Four 2.
I don't know if he did or not.
Right there. Lawrence Fishburne, Silver Surfer voice. Boom!
And that's so sad. That's so sad for Doug Jones because it took him having to do the second Hellboy before he was actually able to use his voice in Hellboy 2. Hellboy 1, he's Abe Sapien and he's voiced by Niles from
Frasier?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on a sec. Lawrence Fishburne's voice is celestial. You have to say that.
Doug Jones is awesome. I love Doug Jones. So Yeah, so let's talk about where you can follow everybody outside of this cast. I see Zorro before you fall asleep on us again. Where can people follow you if they want to chit chat about all things nerd on any type of social media platform?
At ICZoro on Instagram, Twitter, and PlayStation Network.
And Turbo Comics is getting a kick out of the Frasier. That there was a Frasier reference. Baby, I hear the news are calling, toss salad and scrambled eggs. Oh my.
We
Maybe I
aim
seem
to
a bit
please.
confused, but maybe.
I got you pegged.
Keanu Reeves is Marty McFly in a Back to Future.
Because I don't
There
know
you
what
go.
to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs.
They're calling again from where you can follow Masonic Vader. Masonic Vader, where can people follow you?
You can find me at Masonic Vader on Twitter, Masonic Vader 71 on PlayStation Network.
Awesome. You got that out before your router shut on us again, because I think you're going to turn into one major block all of a sudden here.
Megatron.
Masonic Vader has turned into a 4-dot pixel. Or 4-pixel.
I'm Minecraft Vader. Yeah.
Nick, where can people follow you outside of this cast?
What are you doing that pickaxe? Put the pickaxe down.
Raider0314, PlayStation Network, and Twitter.
Kelsey Grammer's
And
Doctor Doom. No. He was Beast.
I would love that.
I loved him as Beast. That was the only good
Yes.
thing that was good about that film. That God. And here's the sad thing. I haven't seen Dark Phoenix, but I heard that X-Men 3 was better than Dark Phoenix, which makes me
I heard that
really
too.
scared.
Oh.
Really
With-
scared to check it out. One of my best
with
friends
Wolf-
told me that.
Wolverine in his magic pants.
Yeah, Turbo, if that's the truth, I would definitely not check out Dark Phoenix. And when I say
Or at least wear diapers.
when I say if that's the truth, there's things that go on in the chat room here that we don't usually say, and that's why you should be on the live podcast on twitch.tv/Malice Corp every Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you want to know when any of our podcasts are going live, head on over Twitch, twitch.tv/Malice Corp, MALICECORP, and click a follow so that you know when anything's going live, so you can come interact with us anytime. Head over to the website as well, malice-corp.com. If you guys want to support us here on the Twitch channel, hit that subscribe button. If you have Amazon Prime, that means you have Twitch Prime, which means you get a free 30-day subscription to give to a channel every 30 days. Or if you're going to go purchase something on Amazon, you know the drill. Head over to malice-corp.com. Click on the Amazon link while you're there before you purchase the stuff. That way, we get a little bit of a helping hand from you buying things, and it doesn't cost you anything extra, and it helps us keep the website running, which means that you can continue listening to all the old episodes of the podcast that we do, because that's where everything is housed. So, thank you guys. Thank you for coming and joining us. If you want to follow me on Twitter at @mest_Malice Corp, or on Instagram at mest5150. And as always, you chit chat with us all the time, anytime. Facebook.com/groups/All Things Nerd Podcast. Thank you for joining us. You keep nerding on, and I'm about to hit this button. We'll see you later.
Carry on.